Hi, my name is Joe. I'm a fat black belt. What do I want to talk about? Let's do food before training, just to make life easy, because food was both easy and pretty good today. Lunch, no breakfast. Lunch was after training, and I went out. I had some steak. I had some double broccoli, a little bit of bread. End of the conversation. I almost didn't eat anything else, but then I ended up throwing together a little chicken wrap, and it was literally just like one tortilla, a little bit of rotisserie chicken, a slice of reduced fat, or I think fat-free cheese, which I might as well have left it out. It didn't taste like anything, but it made me feel better. It was like my emotional support cheese. And that was it for dinner. Threw out, finally, the last of the birthday cake, so I had a bite of that. And then I had a yasso bar while I was watching a movie with the wife, and that is the whole of the food day. It's late, because it was also a long day. So let's talk about training today. Today was the hapkido seminar with Grandmaster Mix. It was Grandmaster Mix? Grandmaster Flash? It sounds like his stage name, but it's like really his actual name. The guy's name is Jason Mix. He was really, really cool. And he came off as just this very sort of humble, knowledgeable, broadly educated guy. He had a lot of hapkido background. He had a lot of aikido background. He had a lot of sword background. And the session that I went to, and I only went to the one, was on the four water levels of his style of hapkido, which is basically just what he calls like the first four belts. The first four belts are like levels of water, and they're learning like the water part of the style there. And so we did a lot of self defense. We did some forms. We did some application. I got to do some rolling. It was nice. Overall, it was nice. I learned a lot of stuff. He had a slightly different style than is taught at my school. And I think a slightly different style than I've ever trained before. But it's funny. I think the longer you spend in the martial arts, the more you're like, oh, I recognize this. This thing is, they teach this in Kung Fu. They teach this in Kali. They teach this in whatever different martial arts you've trained. And if you've trained different kinds of martial arts, you'll see things that echo that too. And the more you train with people that have done lots of this and gone lots of places and trained everywhere, the more you see that in their style. They pick up the things that make sense. They pick up the things that echo in the various martial arts, and they focus on that stuff. And it was really cool. We did some really neat, like, four-direction kicking drills without putting our legs down, and I did not realize that hapkido had so much kicking. I thought I was going to kick a lot of ass at that, and I mean, I did fine. But, man, I got to work my balance on some of those. One of those was literally like an axe kick into a roll. And we don't do a lot of rolling in Taekwondo, so hopefully that's a thing I can start working on in the future, because it was super cool. It was a fun drill to do. I'd like to do more of it. Maybe I'll do like a demo of just that one thing later on if I get good at it. I can, I'll set the camera up someplace else, because you don't want to see me kicking around my living room, but it'd be pretty neat. Tomorrow may or may not be a sword training day. Kind of depends on how the rest of the day goes. But so far, being back on track with the food and the training seems to be going well. I'll tell you what, having shed a bunch of weight, I felt much more athletic today. I felt much more able to get up and down and do the rolling and sort of like do the athletic maneuvering without really leaning hard into my body. So that felt good. Let's keep it up.